Don in London, hello. It's March. Yeah, it's March 18th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction. Addiction to substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour could be anything addictive. Work, relationships, collecting, materialism, you name it, I could be there and trying to satisfy some need inside me. Or was it a want? I don't know. I was quite ignorant of my needs and wants for many a year, and unable to distinguish between needs and wants. A need is a need to have something to survive, to be a part of life and continuing on life's journey. And wants, well, wants are superfluous. They're not necessary to existing and having a happy life. So wants for me probably led to trying to fix the way I felt. So wanting to be right, wanting to be able to say, I'm doing a good job, I'm in the right relationship, I have the right material possessions, so other people will value me. So wants probably dictated a lot of my behaviour over the years. Notwithstanding that, there were very good years where life seemed to go along just as it may, convivial, happy, sad, as life afforded, having love, being loved, and useful. But underneath there was something missing, and I didn't know quite what it was, and I suspect it was some very necessary life skills around keeping on making mistakes, keeping on learning that fear need not dictate everything that we do. So I guess for me, a fear-driven person for quite a long time. And what's that got to do with addiction? Well, if we're not feeling right inside, emotionally or spiritually, depending on our belief system, emotionally it can be to do with love. So learning how to love a person in an emotional and physical way, yes. At the same time, not quite sure that I ever measured up in any aspect, because fear underlay everything. So these days, just making progress, not being perfect, living life as it can be in the moment of now. So how am I doing this? What's making life possible? And not making life, but experiencing life as it is in reality. Well, sobriety helps. 24 hours a day, a one-day program, and that one-day program of living courtesy of a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And when I can't get to meetings of AA, which has happened over the last couple of weeks with a fractured foot, literature, keeping in touch with people who are in fellowship, who know what it's about to be sober for one day, or an hour, or a minute, all helps me keep a life balance going. So this morning I wake up and I'm okay, emotionally and spiritually, but physically I've got a bit of healing to do, and that's perfectly okay. But what helps me always is knowing where my emotional and spiritual centre is in me, and what's helping me, and that's being able to face life on life's terms. So the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't speak for it, never can, never will. It's a collection of unique, it's not a collection, it's a fellowship of unique, authentic people, with one overwhelming similarity, and that sober is best in living, and recovery is one day long. So it would be wrong of me not to include in my story of experience, strength and hope of living sober AA, because either the literature, the toolkit, you name it, it keeps me on track. So AA helps me save my life and share a message of experience, strength and hope on a daily basis. So I share the statement of intent about what is AA for people who do not know, or just want a reminder on a daily basis and can't get to meetings, a bit like me at the moment. So it helps me, and I hope it helps other people. That's the primary purpose of the fellowship, as you will hear in this statement of intent, and then a bit of literature. So the statement of intent, or AA preamble, it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And a little bit about my story. 35 years of drinking. I shut down completely, became isolated and unable to cope at all. Fear of everything. Fear of going out when I had a home. Fear of opening the door. Fear of answering the telephone. Fear of opening a letter. And then I lost a lot, and I had a fear of life completely. Well, fear of living, actually. So not waking up would have been a preference for quite a long time, and several years of homelessness. Not ever having a base did not help me consolidate ever. So life is tough, and we all go through tough times, and my coping strategy just did not work for me in the end. Fixing myself with alcohol so I could face the world. Worked for a long time, and then I couldn't cope. So the gift these days, and there is a gift in this, all those years, joyful, sad, maybe not as deep as I would have wished, but able now to cherish life on life's terms, to love people, be loved back, and do something useful. Simple as that. Keeping it simple for complicated people. And in this book, the Daily Reflections, which I share, it's the 12-step action program which is covered, 1 step a month, and March is all about letting go and letting others in, or letting go and letting God. And for me it took a long time, because God was not a word which I connected with. So these days I understand God to be truth, love, and works through others. And that simple understanding, truth, not my truth, but the overall truth of now, what I'm learning, love, how to be loved back, and wisdom of others, letting people in. God works through people. All very simple and very understandable for me. So today's one, all about real independence, March 18th. Step 3, let go, let God. The more we become willing to depend upon a higher power, that's letting in the world, the more independent we actually are, and also interdependent, without having people over us or under us. Goes on to say, I start with a little willingness to trust God, and He causes that willingness to grow, to let life in. The more willingness I have, the more I trust again, the more trust I gain, and the more trust I gain, the more willingness I have. My dependence on God grows as my trust in Him grows. Before I became willing, I depended on myself for all my needs, and I was restricted by my incomplete, only my outlook. Through my willingness to depend upon my higher power, whom I choose to call God, all my needs are provided by someone who knows me better than I know myself, even the needs I may not realise, as well as the ones yet to come. Only someone who knows me that well could bring me to myself, bring me to be myself, and help me fill the need in someone else that only I am meant to fill. There will never be another exactly like me, unique, authentic, and that is real independence. And with that overwhelming similarity of a need to keep my head clear, I was sharing with my sister this morning, which made her laugh immensely, and it was an Oliver Cromwell quote, which I have somewhere here. Yeah, what I've said is, right-sized and right relationships, independent and interdependent, life works for a day. Oliver Cromwell, trust in God and keep your powder dry. And for some of us, trust in God and keep your brain box dry. Let in truth, love, and wisdom of others. So my time is up, and as I will share at the end of these videos, the serenity prayer to God, all good conscience, of your understanding, which is so important. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.